It's now time for the Wedcast, brought to you by Film Media Wedding Videography, 3-time Wedding Industry Award regional finalist. Here is your host, James. Welcome to episode 8 of the Wedcast. I am James, as always. And on today's show, we're going to be talking everything to do with cake, wedding cake, all sorts of cake. Cake's one of my favourite subjects. Yeah, that's right. We have got on the show today, we have got the one and only Ellese Harrison. Now, she is the owner of Ellese Bakes, based in Caister. So she's going to be coming on today, talking to us all about what goes into making a wedding cake, keeping a wedding cake so it doesn't melt on a wedding day, and everything in between. So yeah, that's what we've got. That's what we've got to today. So also Leo will be back after last week's episode. He's got a fresh question. It's a brand new supplier. It's a brand new week, guys. So without further ado, I present to you Ellese Harrison. Hi, Ellese. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on. So today we're going to be talking about one of my most favourite subjects in the world, and that is cake. However, I probably don't know much about cake, so this is why I brought you on, so you can help me. Obviously, when it comes to cake, I know all about eating it, but the process of making it is a totally different ball game. So you run like a little, is it? I want to say cakery. Is that the right term? Cakery?
Yeah, cakery. Yes, we're not like a bakery, so we don't do bread and things like that. But cake. So our cake shop we run in Caister is that's open. It's open less during the winter, more during the summer because we're quite seasonal where we are located. But we run everything from there. So we'll do like loads of cakes, birthday cakes, and then we've got the counter that's there as well. And then obviously everything comes out from there.
Oh, so that Caister, is that Branford Road?
Branford Road, yes, in Caister. We're literally smack bang in the middle of the Haven Holiday Park, which is really great for the summer.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah, you must get a lot of tourism.
Yes, a lot. It's really good. It's a really good location. There's loads of parking and stuff outside there as well, so it's a good spot that you could come down in the summer when the weather's nicer, pick up some cakes, and you can walk straight to Caister Beach from where we are.
Oh, wow, okay. So you can go and eat your cake on the beach.
Exactly, take yourself a little cake picnic.
Cake by the ocean, that's a bad reference.
Yeah, exactly.
So, obviously I know your brother. So your brother's Tyler Harrison, the magician.
Yes.
So you guys...
He's my brother.
Yeah, your brother. So I had to bring him up. I know we're talking about cakes today, but obviously I've got a lot of love for Tyler. I've known him for many years as well. So obviously the wedding side of things runs in the family.
Yeah, well, he actually works helping me as well with a lot of the cake stuff. When he's worked in the shop before, he's done events with me, but he also built my entire website.
He built your website for you? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, he built my entire website from scratch during lockdown.
What a legend, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. He's very, very proud of us.
As a magician, though, I mean, he must make a lot of cake disappear. Oh, that's a really bad joke as well. So we'll talk about weddings in just a minute. So how long have you been doing cakes, and what got you into the idea of making cakes? Did you do something prior to this? How did you get in this line of work?
Yeah, so I was a semi-qualified accountant before this.
Okay.
Yeah, totally random. And I used to always have two jobs. So I'd do like an office job during the day, and in the evenings I'd always work a bar and stuff like that. Like, I can't keep still is the issue.
Yeah. I'm a bit like that. I'm a bit like that. I have to be doing something. I can't sit still for long. Yeah, I get you.
Exactly.
Doing that, yeah.
So that's exactly what I was like. Then I stopped doing bar work and just kind of felt like I just needed something to do in the evening. So I came across a YouTube page by Cupcake Gemma.
Okay.
She runs a cake shop in London, and I just kind of was like quite fascinated with all of the cakes that she'd made and the different flavours, and I just started randomly baking stuff just in the evening, just to pass some time, take them into work when I was in the office during the day, and people were loving them. And then I was being asked to do birthday cakes, so I just kind of share it a lot on social media.
Okay.
It's very social media heavy, but that was probably about 6-7 years ago I started doing that.
Wow, okay, yeah.
And it just kind of spiraled out of control since then.
Well, that's great, and it's I mean, if you enjoy something, I mean, this is what I say about the videography side of things. If you enjoy what you do professionally, you don't feel like you're actually working. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. It's kind of, it was that awkward thing as well of baking is kind of quite therapeutic. I find it is anyway. So especially like when I'm stressed or anything like that, I kind of baking is something that kind of I find helps calm me a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you kind of put your hobby into being now your main work. It's kind of worked well for me that I've managed to turn a hobby into something that I can kind of make to earn money from.
Do you find though, now you do it professionally, that you don't bake for fun anymore?
Oh, do you know what? I don't bake a lot at all, to be honest. And that sounds crazy, but we've got staff at the shop who I've trained up. The girls who had they had an interest in making cakes previously, and they came on board and they kind of make everything now. So the only things that I really do myself is decorate birthday cakes and decorate wedding cakes.
Ooh.
They're kind of the only things I do, unless obviously I'll jump into the kitchen if we're short-staffed or anyone's on holiday and stuff like that. But the day-to-day baking of stuff, I don't really have much to do with anymore. I'm very much kind of planning a lot of things.
Planning stuff, and you're more behind the scenes sort of things. Is that what you say?
Pardon?
More behind the scenes.
Yeah, a lot of it's behind the scenes, just making sure that everything runs smoothly during the week. Because, I mean, any time we can have, in the main bits of summer, we can do 3 wedding cakes a week, plus maybe an event, 1 or 2 events. The shop's usually open 5 days a week. And then we can have anything up to, I think the most amount of birthday cakes I've done in a week is 30 birthday cakes.
Wow. That's a lot of birthday
cakes.
So
it can be full on. And if you don't have, a structure and a plan in place, then that is not going to work.
No, absolutely not. So, okay, so you had this as a hobby, and then you opened the you opened the cakery. So when you opened, did you go straight for the idea of weddings, or did that sort of come over time?
I think so. We opened the shop in the August before lockdown, and at that point, I had done maybe 2 or 3 wedding cakes. I did one for a girl that I worked with before we had the shop. And then I think I'd done maybe 2 or 3 whilst I had the shop before we went into lockdown. And obviously then during lockdown I didn't do any weddings. And then, I think there wasn't that many to begin with before I had the shop. I was mainly doing birthday cakes. Weddings were quite scary at the time for me.
I can imagine. I mean, that's a huge deal, a wedding cake. Not that a birthday cake isn't, but a wedding.
No, it's the pressure of how big they are as well, and obviously you've got to. There's so many different things that are involved in a wedding cake that you just don't get in a birthday cake, and you just need to make sure it all comes together perfectly.
So, obviously, I see a lot of wedding cakes doing what I do. Yeah. However, I don't know too much about what goes on behind the scenes for a wedding cake. So, obviously, I'm at the point. One of my main parts of my video is the cake cut. That is that's a big part for me. But you see different types of wedding cake. I mean, there's the rustic side of things. Is that a popular one for you, rustic?
Yeah, very much so. I find that a lot of the weddings we do are at venues that are a lot of barn conversions. It's very, very popular, that sort of theme and styling nowadays for weddings. Because I think it gives the people a lot of freedom to kind of create the day that they actually want in a barn.
Absolutely.
So that works well for them. So we do kind of feel like we do a lot of the semi-naked and naked cakes more so than anything else.
Yeah, they're really popular at the moment, aren't they? And especially they were last year. Hopefully they will be this year as well. I mean,
I think the only other trends that I see coming in a lot at the moment for wedding cakes is people having more of a dessert style layout, or almost like a cake buffet almost type thing. So a smaller cake, but having a lot of treats like brownies, cookies, things like that, cupcakes and stuff like that. I think that's going to be popular this year.
Well, this is one thing I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. So before we get to that, let's quickly talk about tiers on wedding cakes, because it must be hard to tier a cake. I mean, so what is your is a 3-tier cake your most popular for weddings, would you say?
Yeah, so 3-tier is the most popular. We've done a couple of 4 tiers. That's as large as I'll go. Anything more than that is too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. 4 tiers, yeah, so 3 tiers is the most popular. There's different sizes, obviously, because some people might only have 60 guests. So you wouldn't obviously do the same size cake for someone who's then having 100 guests.
Yeah.
Because it would just be too much. So we do size, ours. So we do 12-inch, 10-inch, 8-inch, 6-inch, or 4-inch. So you can pick either one of them to have with the tiers. And we find that 10, 8, and 6 is the most popular option. And that is, I think with the 3 tiers, it's just kind of, when people see it, they're all like, oh, wow, that looks good.
Yeah.
I think it kind of has that effect on it.
So I guess, do you deliver the cakes to the venue on the day?
Yeah.
Or do they pick? So you deliver them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we deliver everything. I do not want, I just couldn't, it's not an option. There is no option for anyone to collect anything bigger than a 2-tier. You can collect a 2-tier because we will pre-stack it for you at the shop. 3 tiers we'll assemble at the venue.
So do you, I mean, that would worry me, like, just obviously, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about how stressful that would be. Like, if you gave that to a couple to take away.
We've got a driver
who
does a lot of our deliveries, and me and him will go and do wedding cakes, and he is quite nervous on the drive there. But it's easier to drive with a cake that's not stacked than it is to drive with a cake that's stacked to the 3 tiers. So we can put like a dowel straight through the middle of the cake to kind of keep it together.
Yeah.
But it, honestly, like it stresses me out. So we'll usually travel with the bottom 2 tiers, because they're the bigger ones. They'll be stacked, and then the last 3rd tier on its own. And then when we get to the venue, I can just pop that on the top.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Because it is stressful. It is, especially if you're going far. Like we've done cakes like that have been driving for over an hour.
Wow.
And especially in the summer when it's hot.
Yeah. I mean, how do you combat that?
It's a stress.
How do you combat that? I mean, like, for example, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. I mean, I've been to weddings before. Obviously, of course, I've been to weddings before, but I've seen cakes where the heat can really affect them. You know, I mean, how do you...
Yeah, all of our cakes are buttercream cakes. We don't do fondant.
Right. Okay.
So all of ours are buttercream, and obviously it's buttercream and butter. It will melt in the sun.
Yeah.
So we will basically say to people, if they're really far away, they want to go for a semi-naked cake instead of a full ice cake.
That makes sense.
Just because if they want to get a fully ice cake, I'd recommend they get a cake from someone closer.
Yeah.
Just because, like, obviously, you don't want someone to have a cake that's going to not look up to what they want. And you see pictures of all of our cakes on our website, and that is what you want. That's why you've chosen us. And if I can't guarantee that I can give you that, then I would happily say no. I'm not going to just go, yeah, that'll be fine, when I think in my head, oh, I don't know, that's a bit risky. It's not worth it. So you can get something, like, closer. So
that's quite an important question.
Yeah,
I mean, that's quite an important question. So if someone came into the cakery and and they said, right, well, I'm getting married, except for I'm going to be getting married, I don't know, an 45-minute drive away, you'd then turn around and say, well, actually, this cake might not be the right one because of that length of drive. Is that what you'd say to them?
Yeah, so I'd look at the time frame. If they want a cake that's 45 minutes to an hour away and it's the middle of January, it will be absolutely fine. Yeah. Whatever they want.
Yeah.
If they want it in the height of August, I'm going to be like, you might want to consider. Because we've got a van.
Yeah.
It's kind of, because it's dark in there, it doesn't get as hot as it usually would, and so we can use 45 minutes for a fully iced cake. You'd be fine. I always ring the venues beforehand anyway and let them know and be like, right, what time should we come? Where are we setting up? Are we in a marquee? Are we in are we in a restaurant? Is there good? Are you going to set me up near a radiator? Like, I'm asking them questions beforehand so that I know that when I get there, I'm like, right, the aircon's on, so that it kind of can help just kind of keep the cake cool.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I have thought of everything.
No, you have. So, okay, so if I wanted to come and book you, right, I wanted a wedding cake, right? So I want to come down. So I'd come down to see you at your shop in Caister. Then would you do like a little consultation? I mean, like to talk about how you go along the lines of what flavour tiers, if I was having a tiered cake and obviously design and stuff.
What we tend to do is we ask people to, they're more than welcome to come to the shop and speak to me about it. I'm very, very busy all the time,
yeah.
So I wouldn't want it to be a wasted journey of you coming down. The first thing for them to do is to head to our website and fill in our form on our website.
Right, okay.
It asks all the questions that they need to basically, for me to put a quote together, and they can attach pictures and stuff like that as well. We found that because our shop hasn't got any seated area, we're very limited to space. We had to get rid of all the seated area in the shop during COVID, and we used that space and built a second kitchen because we needed the space for baking more stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very limited on space. So we tend to not really do face-to-face consultations because everything can be done online. I can, if people want to speak, I can call them, and if they feel like they want to speak to see my face, I can do a Zoom call. I can do anything like that just to kind of speak. Then we don't necessarily have to come to the shop. It can all be done online, and I actually prefer it to be done online because then I've got a paper trail of everything I've asked them, and everything to revert back to as well.
Okay. However, right, online is fantastic. But if it was me, right, okay, now I'd be one of these awkward people. I'd like, well, I want to come and try some of this cake. Is that an option?
Yep. Yep. So we've got sample boxes on our website, so you can pre-order, and you basically get like a pot, and you can pick 4 pots or 6 pots, and you've got a selection of flavours to choose from on them.
Oh, lovely.
And you can order them.
Oh, okay. So you can. So I can put an order in online and say, right, okay. So the tiers of my cake. Just having 3 tiers, right? I want.
Yeah.
Give me your 3 favourite tiers that you'd normally put on a wedding cake. Again, this is how much of a noob I am with these sort of questions when it comes to cake.
Yeah, no, that's right. So most popular wedding cake flavours is white chocolate and raspberry.
Oh, lovely. Yep.
Yep. Lemon.
Nice. Lemon. Interesting.
And randomly, Biscoff.
Oh, no. Biscoff's very popular at the moment.
Very popular.
Yeah,
yep.
That is. Oh, I do love a bit of Biscoff. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Yeah, we everything. It's on everything.
So you can get little sample boxes of those. So come and pick up a little sample. So try that with you.
Yeah.
And then make that decision.
You can buy them. You can pick them up from the shop. We can deliver them to your house if you're local, or you can actually get them posted anywhere in the UK. So if you're getting married in the Norfolk, Suffolk area, but you live in London, but maybe you grew up here and your family are here or whatever, you can get it posted to your house.
Oh, brilliant. That's really clever.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, that's really nice. I think that's a really good option. How do you go about people with food allergies, like gluten-free, or if they're vegan even? I mean, is that something you do?
Yeah. So we don't tend to do vegan or gluten-free in the cakes.
Okay.
So what we'll suggest is, so we're lucky that we've got a second kitchen that's built now in the shop. So whilst we say that it's not suitable for celiacs because they have to be really careful with what they eat, and we bake it in the same oven, but because we've got a separate preparation area, we can offer gluten-free. But what we'll say is do cupcakes or do cupcakes basically for vegan and gluten-free.
Right.
So it's completely separate. It's not built into your cakes. You've got no risk of cross-contamination. We can put lace cases on the cupcakes, and we can do them in different colours, so you'll know silver, that's vegan, or blue, that's gluten-free. So you can kind of keep them separate so that there's no confusion over what's being eaten.
I think that's great. I think we do live in a world now where people do, they want to enjoy the beautiful flavour of the cake, but they're worried about, obviously, allergies, or, as I said, even if they're vegan.
Yeah.
And, I think it's really important, really, really important.
Yeah, so we do get a lot of people that have that as an add-on, just for, like you say, gluten-free and vegan. It's definitely more and more than it used to be, but having the cupcakes is a nice option, and they can have different flavours if they want as well, and it kind of looks nice as well when it's all kind of laid out together. So you can have like the cupcakes around the cake, and it just presentation-wise, it looks really nice.
Yeah, really nice. And then obviously then you can make it design, and so it all looks lovely and beautiful for them. Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a random question. I don't know why you would have this, but some people do. Do you offer like a polystyrene tier on a cake?
No, so we don't because well, I do them for like when I do wedding shows and things like that. Well, obviously I have to bake cakes, but as a whole, I don't tend to offer it on cakes. I don't know why. I just don't really think it's right. Like if you don't need that sort of size of a cake, it just seems odd to me to do that.
If you're ordering
I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ordering a 3-tier cake, why have one of the tiers that you can't eat? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and especially us being a cake shop, like the whole point is that it's a cake that you want to eat because it tastes good.
Absolutely. So, as you said, so busy 2023 coming up. Then obviously 2024, and I think it's amazing that you booked that far in advance. And obviously myself with the video side of things, I'm looking for next year as well. Now 2023 is looking busy. So that's just kind of the way it works within the wedding industry. But how did it affect you then during the time when we were in COVID? How was that for you and your shop?
So business wise, it was crazy. So I took 2 weeks off to begin with when we went into like the first lockdown, and it was like proper lockdown and you couldn't go anywhere.
No.
I took 2 weeks off, which was like the most amount of time I'd ever had. It was the most amount of time me and my other half would probably ever spent together. And like nearly 10 years of being together,
yeah.
We've never spent so much time confined to one room together. And then because I'm like can't sit still, I was just like I can't spend any more time in this house. So I furloughed my staff and I went back to work. Because I could do deliveries.
Oh yeah, so, you could do that, couldn't you? That must have been popular for you over that time.
So at one point we had like 3 cars out and about every day.
Wow.
Delivering cupcakes, and basically my routine at that point was wake up at 4 a.m, go to the shop, bake cupcakes, because it was mainly cupcakes we did at the time.
Yeah.
Especially during lockdown, that was like the main thing that we were offering people.
Yeah.
I'd go in and bake cupcakes, and then I'd get them all done by about midday. The most amount of cupcakes I ever did in a day was 368 or something like that.
Wow, how big are your ovens? How big is the oven? Seriously, that's a lot of cupcakes. You must have huge ovens.
We've got 2 ovens in the shop, and we can bake about 60 cupcakes at a time.
Wow.
So it's not too bad. But yeah, so I do that, get everything cleaned down afterwards, load them into my car, my other half's car, Tyler's car.
Yeah.
And then we'd shoot off and deliver them to like Lowestoft or anywhere in like Ormsby, Flegborough, Filby, anywhere like that. And we would just deliver them, and then we'd finish at about 3 or 4 o'clock. I'd come home, have dinner, and go to bed, and then I'd do the exact same thing again next week. And I think that lasted for about 3-4 weeks.
Wow.
And I was just like, no more. I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
It was such a strange time, wasn't it? It was like a really weird time, and it was difficult to start with because no one knew. I mean, you just didn't know. But I mean, in some respects, you were lucky in regards to you could still do that, and it became a thing, didn't it? Where you could order food online and it could be delivered safely, and
exactly. So, yeah, I was very lucky. Like when that first all happened, like I was absolutely devastated. Because I was like, I've literally just opened my shop. We've been open for like 4 or 5 months, and I'm now having to close it again. So it was absolutely, and I quit my job. Like I quit my job and was like, no, we're doing this. We're going full in on this. Like I've quit my job, and it was a bit of a panic. Yeah. But I always think like I'm really dedicated to it, and I'll always really put such hard work in, and I think it pays off in the end. If you're that like into something, it will pay off for you. Yeah. And I think that's kind of worked in my favour, that I am kind of 24/7, literally giving everything to it, and it worked. It got us through lockdown when some businesses obviously didn't quite have that. That wasn't an option for them, so they kind of didn't make it through. So we were very lucky in that respect.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't do any weddings at all, and then 2022 was just absolutely non-stop weddings because we had so many weddings to fit into that year.
Yeah, it was a busy year.
Stop.
Busy year. I mean, you must have had like orders from wedding cakes that you must have had to fulfill after you came back from COVID.
Yeah, I think our one of them has been booked in like the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2019, something like that. And she got married in like last year, and it was like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years later.
After she booked us for our wedding. That was just absolutely crazy. I was like, I can't believe we're actually doing this wedding cake now. But like, and I think a lot of the brides kind of was just, it's sad, like, really for it, because a lot of brides are just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it got to that point.
It really has put like a little bit of a down on it. So then when people see the cake and they see how great they look and they love them, you kind of think, oh no, that's good then, because like that's actually, their day's like actually better than they thought it was going to be.
They got to that point, didn't they, where there was a lot of brides and grooms who felt very low at that point because it'd been changed so much and they've had to cancel so much, and
Yeah.
And then obviously when the time was right, like yourself, the 3 year wait, the cake was there, fantastic, and it kind of made that wait worth it, in a way.
Yeah, and I think actually a lot of people were very lucky that they got a massive bargain, because my skill level had improved so much over that 3 years from doing so many cakes.
Cupcakes.
That they were getting themselves a cake that was 300% better than they thought it would have been back then, because I'd only maybe done 2 or 3, when actually at the point of doing that I might have done 30 wedding cakes, and they were like, oh yeah, no, this is like, it's definitely, it's like leveled up. It's kind of good. They were happy to stick with me.
Yeah.
Because it paid off really in the end.
I noticed on your website you're now doing what you call the dessert table. What's that all about?
Yeah, so we it's basically, again, with like the barn style weddings.
Yeah.
People might not necessarily have a sit down meal. This is a great option for them, because they can kind of they can have a cake, but they can incorporate it as a dessert within their day as well.
Yeah.
So you're not having like 2 desserts really. So what we found was like always doing like a grazing style table. They can have brownies, cookies, cupcakes,
oh my God,
donuts, like anything, and we'll lay it all out for them. We did 4 days worth of them for East Coast College, in Lowestoft, and for an award ceremony, and it was absolutely amazing. We did that in the town hall in Yarmouth in 4 days, and it was like buffets to feed over 100 people, and it was just they just look really nice when they're all presented out, and you see all of the items all kind of scattered about, and you can kind of pick and choose what you want. It's very popular, especially if you've got guests that come to the shop and they're like, oh my God, it's like free Ellese bakes.
I'm literally just on your website now as we're speaking. I'm looking at it all. You've got like let's call them rainbow cookies with like kind of Smarties in. You've got like you've got donuts. You've got cakes with fresh strawberries on the top. Are they magnums? They look like magnums. Are they magnum cakes?
Oh no, they're like cookie dough.
Okay.
They look like Magnum ice cream, so they're cookie dough inside. We handmade all of them in the shop.
Oh my God, they look incredible. Oh, it's making me hungry looking at your website.
I know. But no, they look really, like, it's show-stopping, I'd say. Like, if you were a guest at that wedding and you were like, you'd be like, oh my God, this is absolutely incredible. There's so much choice, and it gives the same effect as a 3-tier cake. It's like kind of seeing it and being like, oh my God, like that looks so good.
Right, I'm coming into your shop. I need to come and try some of this stuff. Yeah, I need to come and try some of this stuff because it looks amazing. I'm getting very hungry looking at your website, and I love cake. So, yeah. So I'm going to move on now because I have someone here who wants to ask you a question. So I don't know if you've heard the show in the past, but my son Leo, he comes on, he asks a supplier a question every week. He has been in and he's got a question for you, Ellese. So if you don't mind, I'm going to hand over to him now.
What's your favourite flavour of cake?
Hi Leo, that's such a great question. I actually get asked that quite a lot as well. It's a hard decision because there's so many different options, but I would say, for me personally, my favourite flavour of cake is this is because I'm greedy. It's a combination of flavours. So we do a cake that's a red velvet flavour cake, and it has caramel inside, and then for buttercream we'll do Oreo buttercream.
Oh my god!
And that is my absolute favourite cake, because it's literally so many things all crammed together.
Can I just say,
because I just can't pick one thing.
you giving that answer, I've just put about 1 million calories on listening to that answer.
It's all about balance. It's all about balance.
That sounds incredible. Oh my god! And I've got a question just coming off from Leo's question. As someone who makes a lot of cakes, well, obviously you don't make as many as you do, because obviously you said earlier you have more people.
I'm surrounded by them though daily.
Do you eat a lot of cake? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! Because I know if I was making cakes all the time, I'd constantly just be snacking on cakes. But the thing is, though, you must get to a point though, where you have enough sugar and you actually have a fancy bag of crisps. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite a savoury person anyway. Like, anyone that follows my social media and stuff will know how absolutely obsessed me and my other half are with eating out a lot. We went on holiday to Italy in the beginning of January, and our whole holiday was consumed with just food, basically. Like, we plan everything around food. So I'm very much a savoury person, but there is certain things that we do at the shop that I cannot not eat if it's there.
Yeah.
So this weekend we had pecan caramel blondies, which are my absolute favourite. Like, certain things I can't make too much. Like, I'll make sure that the menu doesn't have that on there every single week, because otherwise I will take it home every single week.
You must go home with a load of cake every day. You must.
I come home with cake all the time. Like, that's why I have to go to the gym. Like I said to you, it's all about balance. Like, yes, you can eat this, it's fine. I mean, some of our stuff we put fruit in it, so technically that's a little bit healthier.
That's one way of looking at it. I love that. It's got fruit in it. Fantastic. Yep, that's fine.
White chocolate and raspberry blondies. It's got raspberries in it. It's 105 a day.
Oh my god, that sounds absolutely incredible. Right, I'm coming down to this cake shop. I need to come and have a little look. So that's one thing I'm going to do this year. You briefly touched on social media. So is that a big, important part of your business? Do you think that's where a lot
Massive.
Yeah, really. So what are you on? Are you on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? What are you on?
Yep, all of them. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I've got a personal LinkedIn page as well, which I kind of don't think much as I should do on it. But social media is a full-time job. If you're not posting, like, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference for us. If we weren't posting, then I just don't think you get the traffic that we'd need through the website.
Absolutely.
So it makes a massive difference for us, and it's kind of like how we've grown to the size that we have through like social media and through how many followers we've got across all of the different like platforms as well. Like, it helps us. It helps us a lot. So
is it Ellese Bakes on all of them platforms? Are they all?
Yeah. So it is. If you search Ellese Bakes, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, we're on there. I do live on TikTok as well. I've started doing them.
You're brave.
Yeah,
I don't ever go live.
I know. I know. It's a bit daunting at times. I mean, it's not so bad. Tyler really forced me into doing like showing my face more on social media and on Instagram, and it does make a difference because people like to see a face behind the business.
Yeah.
So it does make a massive difference. But I do TikTok live. So I mainly do them early evenings if I'm making cakes, and I'll kind of be icing cakes on TikTok live, so you can kind of watch me icing the cake as I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to tune in now on your TikTok and have a little look. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm going to go on it to, whenever I'm making cakes, it's usually Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday mornings is usually when I'm on there making cakes.
All right, we'll definitely give that a little look because that'd be great to see, and always worth having a little look. I have got a quick question just off that then. So when it comes to when you come up with ideas for cakes, where do you get your inspiration from?
Usually it's social media again. I mean, my life is consumed with cakes. I will, if I'm at home watching TV, we'll watch all the usual programs that are cake related on Netflix or TV or whatever. So I watch all things like that, and it kind of gives you inspiration. But I do follow a lot of accounts as well, and you kind of see things that they do. And for me, it's less copying. It's more like just the different flavour combinations, because we can kind of decorate things to what suits our style.
Yeah.
We don't tend to have to like copy that, but it's more flavours and stuff like that that we like. And like I said, when I went on holiday, we would try loads of different stuff when we were on holiday as well. So it kind of gives you ideas from there. And because it's not just me anymore, it's everyone in the team.
So they've all got ideas.
Kind of put ideas forward.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you coming on to talk to me about cake. I've learnt a lot about cake today, and it's made me want to eat some cake now. I'm not going to lie. So make sure, guys, you go down to Caister and you go to Ellese Bakes, and she'll hook you up with some fantastic sweet treats. So fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ellese, and yeah, see you later.
Thank you.
See you then.
Take care.
Bye. So guys, that is episode 8 wrapped up. So thank you, Ellese, so much for coming on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. One of my favourite subjects is cake, so it has been great to talk about it and hear all about what goes in on behind the scenes of a wedding cake and everything else you've told me about today. So thank you so much. Leo, thank you again for another awesome question. You are the man who runs this show, not me, it's you. That's where people tune in. So yeah, that has been episode 8. So next week, we are 2 away now. So next week, I have, let's just say, I can't tell you what it is, a little bit of a celebration on next week's show, and then the finale is going to be something different, because with that finale, again, no spoilers, but there won't be a supplier. It's going to be something else. I can't tell you too much, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really fun show, the season finale. Episode 9 next week. Make sure you tune in. Monday, Tuesday, Wedcast Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Wedcast Wednesday. My name's James. Leo will be here. We'll catch you guys on the flip. See you next week. Stay safe.